What's going on, y'all? So today we will be doing a 2-round mock draft for every single team in this year's NFL draft. Um, they've been struggling with what to choose to record. Recording way later than I usually do. I actually need to plug my computer up real quick so it doesn't die in the middle of the video. Um, but yeah, so I decided to do a 2-round mock draft instead of like a 1 round like I usually do. And so that way it can provide a little more picks for you guys, see who's going where, stuff like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I am going to be doing trades in this. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't really schemed up this draft at all. So we're going to be doing this on the fly. So I might say, I might start talking about somebody and say I'm going to pick them. And then at the last thing, be like, actually, and pick somebody else. So picking here at number 1. Again, these first 4 picks for me at this point are kind of a lock. Barring nobody trades up, it's going to be CJ Stroud at 1, Bryce Young at 2, Will Anderson at 3, and Anthony Richardson at 4. I can't. I honestly, I can't see it going another way as of right now unless somebody trades. And I do think there is a possibility that Arizona moves out of that spot. I do think that there is a possibility that Carolina, since they're so indecisive, if Houston or like, well, I don't think they'd trade back to 4, but if Houston really wanted to move up and give them extra picks, then Carolina would be kind of dumb not to do it because you still get your pick, or you pick whoever doesn't get picked. You know what I mean? Seattle at 5 though. That's where the draft really starts for me right now. Edge is probably the move here for them with Tyree Wilson. However, I just don't. I can't see them passing up Jalen Carter being here. I can't see him doing it. So with that being said, I am going to pick Jalen Carter at 5 for Seattle. I don't think that they had let him fall at 4. Now, if they went Tyree Wilson, I would have Detroit picking Jalen Carter here. However, I am going to go on a little bit of a different wave here with Detroit. I've been going corner almost the whole entire time throughout this process. But they went out and they signed Cam Sutton. They still have Jeff Okuda. They signed Emmanuel Mosley. So why not go Tyree Wilson, a very, very, very good edge rusher to pair him with Aiden Hutchinson there at 6. At 7, Las Vegas. I am off of the Will Levis at 7 train. It's me personally, and I've heard people give an argument for why I'm dumb for it, and it's okay. But for me personally, I'm not on the Will Levis train at all. I never have been. And here at 7, with them signing Jimmy G to a 3-year contract, I just can't see them doing it. I can't see them trading up, especially to get Will Levis, let alone take him right here when they need so many other things. With that being said, I am going to take Paris Johnson Jr. at 7 to the Raiders. Offensive tackle is a huge need for them, and I just think that Paris Johnson Jr. is just too good to not take at 7, with him being on the board and that being one of your biggest needs. Honestly, I think in my opinion, their biggest need. Atlanta at 8. And I'm thinking Miles Murphy, but I think Miles Murphy is going to end up falling. I'm tempted to go Gonzalez or Witherspoon because they're really, really good. But I don't really see the need for corner for Atlanta. They have Casey Hayward, they have AJ Terrell, they just signed Mike Hughes. I could see why you go get Christian Gonzalez. And I'm gonna be completely honest right now. I this is one of those picks that we're on the fly with. And I'm really struggling to choose between Christian Gonzalez and Miles Murphy. Actually, not even Miles Murphy's Lucas Van Ness, because I think Miles Murphy's gonna fall. Man. I think that they get another. Okay, yeah, I think they get another corner. Christian Gonzalez at 8 to Atlanta. I think that it's too good. It's too good to be true for them. Chicago at 9. I Edge is a Edge is a need, but man, Peter Skronsky would be a good pick for them, especially because of his versatility. Mm, mm. You know what? No, I'm not taking any of these three. I'm not taking them either. I'm gonna take Broderick Jones at 9 to Chicago. I think that they're in more need of a actual tackle, rather where Skoronsky is a swing man who could play tackle but could also play guard and is kind of projecting to be a guard almost. Why not? Philly gets an easy pick here. You take Devin Witherspoon. I'm starting to fall off the Devin Witherspoon hype a little bit. I'm starting to think Joey Porter Jr. may be better than him. And Deontay Banks is close too. I'm not big on Devin Witherspoon, and I could be wrong, but hey, these are my opinions. Why not say something wild? Peter Skoronsky's got to be the pick here, I would think, for Tennessee. He's still on the board. It's too good. It's too good of a match for them. This is where I think I'm gonna stop the fall of edge rushers. I think I'm gonna take Lucas Van Ness at 12 to Houston. I think D'Amico Ryan's Lucas Van Ness to me is a little similar to Nick Bosa. I was about to say Joey Bosa, but Nick Bosa. And I think D'Amico Ryan's could be enticed by that and taking him there at 12. New York, I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably looking at trading out of here. And man, I hate to keep on doing it, but like, is this not a prime position for the Steelers to trade up? They're about to lose out on the top three guys at each of the positions of need. I have to do it. I have to. I have to trade up for the Steelers and take Joey Porter Jr. Because New England could take a corner. Washington probably is going to take a corner. New York lost out on their biggest need in offensive tackle. Safety is not a huge need. Um, But yeah, I just think that's too good to be true right there. I think you have to do it. I could see the Steelers waiting that out. However, the problem is if they don't wait that out, right? Let's say there's no trade that happens here. You probably see New York go Brian Branch. You probably see New England go Joey Porter Jr. Maybe they go wide receiver. Green Bay probably goes Miles Murphy or a wide receiver or a tight end. And then Washington, if Joey Porter Jr. isn't there, goes him. If not, then they probably go Deontay Banks. At 14, New England, I'm a big fan of Deontay Banks. And I think because of that, I am going to take him here. I think he's better than what people are making him out to be. I love the tape on him. Offensive tackle, I don't think is an option here, really, just because lack of talent. Brian Branch could be a fit, but I don't see it. And Jordan Addison's really the only receiver here I see fitting in New England. Um, but I think I am gonna I'm gonna go Deontay Banks at 14 to New England. Green Bay at 15. I think they have to go wide receiver after losing Alan Lazard. I think you got to get a guy in there with Christian Watson and Romeo Dubs, and I think JSN is the good pick there for them. I do. I have switched my opinions on the in the wide receiver room in this draft this year. I am at a crossroads, and I do think Jackson Smith and Jigba might be the best receiver in the draft again. And Zay Flowers is still number two. I would like to say that Zay Flowers is still number two. But I think all four of these guys are first round talents. These two guys are probably second round talents. I'm not as big on Josh Downs or Jalen Hyatt, honestly. I'm a big fan of Rasheed Rice and Tank Dell and Marvin Mims, honestly. Um, anyways, enough on the wide receiver rant. Washington, Washington is put in a bad position here because I don't know if you can take Cam Smith or Keely Ringo here. Do they really need um How bad do they need interior offensive line? I don't think they need interior offensive line. Honestly, bro, I think the Commanders could use a tight end pretty bad. I mean, they could use a corner really bad. They need a corner so bad. I think they could use tight end. I don't know if I'd go tight end at 16 though, because Detroit's probably the first team, and then after that, it's probably not till Jacksonville I can see another tight end going. Who would be a team willing to jump here? Who would be a team willing to jump here? New York doesn't need to. Detroit, I don't think. Nah, because they're probably looking corner right now too. Unless they want to. Again, I'm probably going tight end at 18. Tampa Bay doesn't need to. Well, they want to jump up and get an edge rusher their pick. I think they could. Hmm. You know, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna trade back again here. I am gonna go. We're gonna trade Washington and Tampa Bay. Is gonna be the picks here. I go 16 for 19, and then Tampa will throw 82. That should work. And then Tampa Bay is going to get their edge rusher of choice because it is a need, and they do get Miles Murphy at 16. Uh, Jets, easy pick. Brian Branch on the board. You probably might would have took him at 13, take him at 17, and you get an extra pick in the draft in the third round. Detroit, I just said it a minute ago. Why not go tight end? I'm still on the Michael Mayer train. Dalton Kincaid is good, but in my opinion, right now, if you want a receiving tight end, I would take Michael Mayer first. If you want a blocking plus receiving tight end, I would take Darnell Washington. And in this case, I would think that they would look receiving tight end. I could see them looking Brian Brasier, Kalijah Kansas here. However, I don't think that they'd go edge D line with both their first round picks. But that being said, I am going to take Michael Mayer at 18 to Detroit. I think I've mocked it before, and I'm gonna mock it again. Just this it's just a good fit. Washington, this is gonna keep a little small. Um, oh, my dad is calling me. I can't answer that right now. I think corner is still in play here at 19, and I think I'm gonna have to do it. I just don't. They can get a tight end at 47, in my opinion. They can get somebody like Luke Musgrave or Sam Laporte at 47. I'm gonna have to go corner. And I think that I like the Cam Smith in Washington, but I think that they would take Keely Ringo over Cam Smith. Um, I'll keep Cam Smith, Washington. I think I've done that a couple times too. Seattle at 20. Again, it's the same thing with Detroit at 18. I don't know if they'd go edge D line with both their first round picks. Nolan Smith being here though is really, really hard to pass up. However, I am gonna replace I'm gonna replace Tyler Lockett. Not necessarily replace him, but I'm going to replace him somewhat. Let's say Flowers. The Chargers. Tyler Lockett is getting gold, by the way. That's why I'm saying replace him. The Chargers, it's Quentin Johnston. Why not go get another just big play receiver? It would be Zay Flowers or Smith and Jigbo if they were on the board there. And this is going to keep a run of wide receivers for me. And Jordan Addison going at 20 to the Baltimore Ravens. Minnesota, it doesn't matter who's on the board. You have to take Keely Ringo, in my opinion. Oh, they lost to Darius Smith, didn't they? Never mind. Nolan Smith being on the board is too good of a talent. You replace a Smith with a Smith. Easy. Jacksonville. This is where I think I'm gonna have another tight end go, and that's gonna be Dalton Kincaid. Again, I think they'd look more receiving tight end rather the block plus receiving Darnell Washington. However, I do think Darnell Washington is better than Dalton Kincaid. But yeah, it's probably corner here. Actually, let me look into this real quick. Could they? Oh man, they could. They could use a upgrade at guard. They could. I didn't even think about that. And with that being said, at 25, I'm gonna take Osiris Torrance to the New York Giants. That's a new one. I like that. Cowboys, it's man, this hurts me. It's Bijan Robinson. It's Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson at 26. 27 Buffalo. I was going Osiris Torrance or Bijan Robinson more recently. And with that being said, and both of them off the board, this is gonna have to be a new pick for me. I'm gonna look into John Michael Smith's here. Do they need a center or do they need a guard? Is my question. They went and got Nate Davis, did they not? Know who got Nate Davis? The Bears? I think it was the Bears. They don't necessarily need a center though. They've got Connor McGovern and Mitch. You see, they could really replace Ryan Bates, though, man. I guess it's Steve Avila then. Steve Avila at 27 to the Buffalo Bills. At 28, Cincinnati. This is going to be my third tight end off the board. Actually, no, it's not. It's going to be Anton Harrison, I think. I think it's got to be Anton Harrison. I've liked that fit for too long. Jonah Williams is going to request a trade. So you're going to be looking at they just went out and dropped a absolute bag on Orlando Brown Jr. But yeah, Lyle Collins potentially getting cut. Jonah Williams is potentially getting traded. So you gotta do something there. New Orleans, it's such an easy pick. Brian Bresee. I know Kalijah Kancey is good. Yeah, he's Aaron Donald. No, he's not. Brian Bresee is better than Kalijah Kancey. That's all I gotta say. I would take Brian Bresee 100 times over Kalijah Kancey. That might come back to bite me, but I like to be fun on here. It's looking edge here for Philly. But just the lack of depth. I mean, all of these guys are really good. Foskey's good, White's good, Devore's good, DK Azama's good, Beecher is really good, Will McDonald's good. But I think Kalijah Kancey being on the board, and don't get it twisted when I said I would take Brian Bresee 100 times over Kalijah Kancey. I'm not saying Kalijah Kancey isn't good. I think Kalijah Kancey is a beast, but I'm tired of the Aaron Donald comparisons. And I'm tired of people thinking he's going to go like top 15, top 20. No, neither of the defensive tackles are going top 15, top 20. But Kalijah Kancey's pick at 30 for Philly. They put him in the room with Jordan Davis. Fletcher Cox is going to be going after this year. I would be willing to say. At 31, it's got to be Will Levis, right? Jokes. At 31, it is going to actually be Will Levis. I'm not joking. Kansas City is going to trade out of here. And the team that usually picks Will Levis in the first round for me is going to trade up to make sure that they get Will Levis. With that being said, they're going to throw 38, 109, and 204 to Kansas City for 31. And they're going to make sure that they do get Will Levis because I was going to mock him at 38 anyways. That's where they were, right? Yeah, 38. The Chiefs don't necessarily need that pick a whole lot because they're probably looking offensive tackle or edge there. And now they get a couple of spots back. They're probably still going to get somebody that was going to be on the board there anyways. At 32 to start the second round, it's Darnell Wright to the Steelers. That's an easy pick for them. And if Darnell Wright isn't on the board there and DeJuan Jones is, it's DeJuan Jones. It's an easy pick. It's an easy, super easy pick for the Steelers. And at 33, speaking of DeJuan Jones, I think I'm going to have to take him for Houston. You could look wide receiver. Again, I'm not big on Jalen Hyatt, though. I'm going to take DeJuan Jones at 33 for Houston. I was considering it at 12, but none of the tackles are on the board there. So, yeah. At 34, Arizona. This is where I could see Mozzie Smith pulling, but I think corner's too big of a need for them. And Keely Ringo's still sitting here. I think he has to be the pick, right? It has to be the pick for Arizona at 34. Keely Ringo at 34 to the Arizona Cardinals. 35, Indianapolis. You could consider O tackle, but there's really not anybody there. I don't get the wide receiver need for them necessarily. Did they lose people? But I thought that they had Paris Campbell, Zach Pascal, Ashton Doolin, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce. I thought they had all these guys like in the wide receivers. Did they not? Oh, and they signed Isaiah McKenzie. Okay, but they lost Paris Campbell. They still have Ashton Doolin, but they lost Paris Campbell and who else did I let? I let somebody else. I could consider a wide receiver here. I think corner's more of a need though. I mean, dude, Dallas Flowers is starting at cornerback. Honestly, bro, if they didn't need a quarterback that bad, I would consider corner at 4 for them. Manuel Ford is being on the board. It's too hard for me to pass up. Looking at Dallas Franklin being a starter. Dallas Flowers, sorry. Yeah, no, I can't do it. Man, at 36, I really want to get fun with this and take Hendon Hooker. But I'm not gonna do it. I think I'm gonna take edge. They need edge too bad. And that is going to be a double war out of Northwestern at 36 for the Rams. At 37, Seattle. Now is probably where I'm looking edge because of having that 52 pick and Steven Vila being on the board. If Steven Vila was on the board right here, I would have took him. But now I'm looking edge just because all these guys are still here. BJ Jalari would be the pick for me at 37 if I was the Seahawks GM. The Chiefs, again, yeah, they lost out on the offensive tackles. However, there's still a bunch of edge talent here. And that pick for me, oh, actually, you know what? I don't think it is. No, yeah, I was considering wide receiver and Jalen Hyatt, but I am going to take Will McDonald the fourth out of Iowa State at 38 for the Chiefs. 39 for the Panthers. It's down for me personally. It's down to in DK Uzama and Jalen Hyatt. I just don't see the need for Jalen Hyatt or Josh Downs at 39 for them when they need other things such as edge or such as corner, and there's not much corners there. Linebacker could be in play here, but like it's not that big of a need. I'd rather go Felix and DK Uzama out of Kansas State at 39 for the Carolina Panthers. I think Keon White is in play here. I don't really think they need a wide receiver. They just signed somebody today. They literally just signed somebody today. Who was it? They signed Brian Edwards. That's who it was. They signed Brian Edwards, the Saints did. So I don't really understand the wide receiver need when they have a guy like Rashid Shaheed who did okay last year. They have a guy like Traquan Smith. They just signed Brian Edwards. They have Michael Thomas and Chris Olave. So I don't really see the need necessarily. I guess they could use a slot guy, and that's where Jalen Hyatt could come into play here. I could see Darnell Washington being in play. Jawan Johnson and Adam Shulman are okay. I think they could use an upgrade on their D line, though. I mean, and we already got him Brian Bresee, but I still think that they could use upgrade at edge. Carl Granderson isn't great. Peyton Turner hasn't turned out to what he was supposed to be. Capasagon, I don't know how you say it. I think it's how you say it, but I'm not sure. And Cameron Jordan is getting old. Cameron Jordan's still a beast. Don't get me wrong. Cameron Jordan is getting old. And I think with Keon White still being here, you have to do it. Keon White at 40 to the New Orleans Saints, Georgia Tech. Tennessee. I Cody Mock is just such a Tennessee Titan, but their need at wide receiver is so big. I think they have to take Jalen Hyatt there. Like they just have to. New York Jets, they have two back-to-back picks as of right now. I do think they will lose. I think 42 is their actual pick, and 43 is the one that they just got in the trade for Elijah Moore. They traded Elijah Moore in a third round pick for the second round pick, if you didn't know. But I think one of these two picks, whichever one is their actual one, or maybe just one of them in general, will be gone in the Aaron Rodgers trade. But as of right now, they are picking back to back here. Again, this could be a trade out position. Cody Mott could be in play, but it's too good. I don't know why I said Cody Mott could be in play. I'm sorry, I was looking at Cody Mott's name. I meant to say John Michael Smith could be in play, and I think it's too good of a fit for them, in my opinion, because they could really use a center. And I think John Michael Smith is a first round talent. I'm gonna be honest. I see a lot of Creed Humphrey and John Michael Smith. And then at 43, I'd be looking linebacker for sure. I think that they could use more of a run stopper linebacker, and that's why I'm considering Drew Sanders over Trenton Simpson. I do think Trenton Simpson's better, but I don't think they necessarily need a pass coverage guy when they have a guy like Quincy Williams and they have a guy like CJ Mosley already there. Oh, they have Chaz Surratt now. Interesting. Sorry, played against them in high school. But yeah, I think Drew Sanders would be the pick there at 43 for the Jets. And then here at 44, it's tough. I think it's gonna have to be Mozzie Smith though. He's been flying up draft boards. I think he's a pretty decent defensive tackle in my opinion. I would be looking edge there if there was a guy there, but I don't know if I think it might be too soon to jump on Foskey there for Atlanta. At 45 for Green Bay, Darnell Washington still being here is too good of a pick for me. I would consider Antonio Johnson. But yeah, and Darnell Washington still being here is too good of a pick for me. You load up that offense for Jordan Love, and you got to compete for that division because that division is not unlocked by any means, in my opinion. New England at 46, I think has got to look Josh Downs, and I think it has to be the pick, in my opinion, personally. They just need a wide receiver so badly. Washington, I think Cody Mock is the pick here. With the interior offensive line, I guess being a need. Hendon Hooker would be fun. They got Jacoby Brissett still though. Trent Simpson, Jack Campbell could be in play, I think. So Luke Musgrave could even be in play along with Matthew Bergeron. Again, just going back to this Commanders depth chart. Sorry to keep going back to these depth charts, but I just got to talk about it. Like, I mean, Andrew Norwell and Sam Cosmi. Sam Cosmi's young. You should let him try to develop. Andrew Norwell's serviceable in my opinion. Charles Leno Jr. is serviceable. Andrew Watt. Okay. Chase Rozier definitely is good. That's why I'm not considering Joe Tippmann, or I would probably take him there. Yeah, tight end. You know, he was going to be the pick. Luke Musgrave at 47 to the Washington Commanders. And again, going back to when I was talking about like stuff being on the fly, that's what I meant. Like right there, like I didn't even say Luke Musgrave's name, and I just had him click on tight end. I thought, wow, that's a good pick. At 48 for Detroit, you probably are looking corner or D line. But I think because of lack of depth here with these two, I think that I'm gonna have to go linebacker at this point. Well, safety's more of a need a linebacker. I think I'm gonna go Antonio Johnson, actually. I think I'm gonna go Antonio Johnson at 48 to Detroit. At 49, Pittsburgh, you probably were looking safety there, and now that that's off the board, you're probably looking D line, and now that that's just kind of like I think Trent Simpson has to be the pick at 49. You need a pass. We need a pass coverage middle linebacker so bad. We cut Miles Jack. We lost Devin Bush. We lost Robert Spillane. Our linebacker room right now is Landon Roberts, Cole Holcomb, and Mark Robinson. So, yeah. With that being said, I think you got to look linebacker or safety there, and Trent Simpson be on the board. Too good to pass up. This is probably where I'm going to stop the fall of corners. We haven't taken a corner since what? Taken a corner since Emmanuel Forbes at 35, so 15 picks since the corner. And I think this corner class is so deep. And with it being a number one need, Matthew Bergeron would be in play here for me. So would Jahmyr Gibbs, honestly. But I think Cart Phillips III still being on the board is too good of a pick for Tampa Bay there to pass up. Man, Miami, a team that I have not even looked into at all, pretty much all off season. Okay, wide receiver is not a need. We know this. Left tackle, right tackle, center, left guard. Actually, matter of fact, I don't think right guard might be the only place that they could really use an upgrade on the offensive line. I don't even think they really. Tight end is a huge need for them. Okay, quarterback, you're good. Running back, I think you're okay. I don't think second round, like Jahmyr Gibbs would be good, but I don't know if Jahmyr Gibbs should be the pick here. Edge rusher, you're probably fine, I'd say. I'd say you're definitely fine at edge rusher. Linebacker could be looked at, but I don't think so after you sign David Long Jr. Corner, I think you're fine. You could use a slot corner, but yeah. And then strong safety maybe could be replaced, but again, there's no safeties. I think Sam Laporta is going to have to be the pick here for me at 51 to Miami. Replace Mike Gesicki after you lost him. And you, because respectfully, Durham Smythe is not a tight end one, especially with struggles Tua has had in his career so far. At 52, I think is where I gotta have Cody Mott going. Again, sorry to go to the depth charts, but man, I mean, Seattle offensive line. Like, let's look at this real quick. Like, let's realistically look at this, right? You have Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas. I think you're fine at tackle. But man, you look at the interior. Damian Lewis. You just signed Evan Brown, so I don't think you replace him. But guards could definitely be replaced. I love Stephen Beeler or Size Torrance to him. Unfortunately for them, they didn't fall to him at all. Cody Mock would be the pick there at 52 for me to Seattle. 53, Chicago, one of their 3 picks in the second round. I think it's Keanu Benton or Isaiah Foskey, in my opinion. I think I'm going to go Isaiah Foskey for them at 53. 54, the Chargers, Tucker Kraft in play for me, but I think D-line's probably the move. Matthew Bergeron's also in play, but I think D-line is definitely the move here for them. I am going to take Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin at 54 to the Chargers. At 55, Detroit, you're probably looking Tyreek Stevenson here, maybe Julius Brents. But I think Sakai Ika being on the board got Jack Campbell's there. I'm a big fan of Jack Campbell in the line system. So with that being the case, I'm going to do it. At 56, Jacksonville, Matthew Bergeron's in play. Sakai Ika's probably the pick. Tyreek Stevenson, Julius Brents, DJ Turner probably are all in play. They're kind of all the same. Some of these guys are in play that I'm looking at, but I think Sakai Ika's the pick for Jacksonville at 56. 57, you didn't go wide receiver corner off rip. I think Tyreek Stevenson is the pick there for the Giants. 58, Cowboys, again, lack of depth being at these positions of need, the main 3 right there, forces you to look somewhere else. Tuli Peloto is in play. But I think my pick here is going to be Deion Henley. I'm a big fan of Deion Henley. I think they could use a linebacker. Why not? Buffalo gets another easy pick here, or not another easy pick, but they get an easy pick here. They get Jahmyr Gibbs at 59. Yeah, you lost out on Bijan in the first round, but you get Jahmyr Gibbs in the late second round, which is not bad at all. I think Tucker Kraft is definitely in play here for Cincinnati. However, I think I'm going to have to lean towards the secondary, and I think it's going to have to be Julius Brents at 60. Then rounding out here, Chicago, Philly, Kansas City, Chicago. Chicago for me is gonna have to be Tuli Tuipulotu. I think is how you say it. Yeah, definitely the pick there. At 62, Philly, I could consider Zach Charbonnet. But Derek Hall still being here, I think it's gonna have to be the pick. I could consider Sidney Brown. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go Derek Hall. At 62 for Philly. 63 for Kansas City. Matthew Bergeron definitely is the pick there for them for sure. At 64, Chicago. I'm gonna make this a little fun, potentially. Let me look into what we would be doing here with this offensive line. Because Broderick Jones will be playing one of the tackles. He would probably go to right tackle. You could kick Tevin Jenkins into left guard, and you could kick Cody Whitehair back to center. So then left tackle becomes a need. Or you replace Braxton Jones, you kick Cody Whitehair back to center, and you take one of these 2 guys. I get confused with these 2. Are they both? I can't remember if they're both centers or if one center's one a guard. I'm pretty sure one center, one a guard, but I don't remember which one's which. However, I'm gonna get fun with this. I said I like these guys more than guys like Jalen Hyatt and Josh Downs and Tyler Scott. And because of it kind of being a need and I want to get fun with it, I am going to take Wait. Oh yeah, they signed Dante Foreman. That's right. Do they really need a wide receiver though? They just took Velas Jones last year in the third round, right? Yeah. Darnell Mooney, in my opinion, is a good receiver. DJ Moore is a pretty good receiver also. Chase Claypool has potential. And Equinemius St. Brown, they don't really need a receiver. They don't need a tight end. They definitely don't need a tight end. They don't really necessarily need a running back. They don't need a quarterback. Again, I think offensive line can be in play. Edge and D line could definitely be in play, but we already drafted two of those, or both of those, I guess. Linebackers not in play. They've spent way too much money on linebacker. I don't think corners in play either, and neither will be safety. So I don't take it too long. We're doing some research real quick, guys. Right, 20 taking rates offense, 2021 started at center. You know, or maybe you don't kick Cody Whitehair. Maybe you just straight up take a center. Why not? We'll take Joe Tippmann to round out the second round to the Chicago Bears. Um, so again, we had three trades. We had Pittsburgh trading up from 13 to 17. We had Tampa Bay trading up from 19 to 16, and we had Las Vegas trading up from 38 to 31. To recap this real quick, because I'm sure this video is a lot longer than it usually is since we went 2 rounds. CJ Stroud at 1 to the Panthers, Bryce Young at 2 to the Texans, Will Anderson Jr. 3 to the Cardinals, Anthony Richardson 4 to the Colts, Jalen Carter 5 to the Seahawks, Terry Wilson 6 to the Lions, Pierce Johnson Jr. 7 to the Raiders, Christian Gonzalez 8 to the Falcons, Broderick Jones 9 to the Bears, Devin Witherspoon at 10, Peter Skronsky 11, 12, Lucas Van Ness, Joey Porter Jr. I can't read these numbers anymore. My voice is going to go off. Deontay Banks, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Miles Murphy, Brian Branch, Michael Mayer, Cam Smith, Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnson, Jordan Addison, Nolan Smith, Don Kincaid, Osiris Torrance, Bijan Robinson, Steve Avila, Anton Harrison, Brian Brissy, Kalijah Cansey, Will Levis, Darnell Wright, Juwan Jones, Keely Ringo, Manuel Forbes, a Delmore, or like I like to call him, AA, BJ Jolari, Will McDonald, Felix and DK Azama, Keon White, Jalen Hyatt, John Michael Smits, Drew Sanders, Monty Smith, Donald Washington, Josh Downs, Luke Musgrave, Antonio Johnson, Trent Simpson, Clark Phillips, Sam Laporta, Cody Mock, Isaiah Foskey, Keanu Benton, Jack Campbell, Sakai Ika, Tyreek Stevenson, Dayon Henley, Jameer Gibbs, Julius Brents, Tuli Tuipulotu, Derek Hall, Matthew Bergeron, and last but not least, Joe Tippmann. So that is my 2-round mock draft, 2022. And I will see you all next time. Peace.